Any second now, you guys. Whoever said that, thank you so much.
That was me.
That was totally not Kara's. There she is.
Okay. All right. Call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. First thing, if you are a visitor, please make sure you signed in and welcome. Do we have visitors? No? Okay. All right, then we will begin with the land acknowledgement. All Spokane Public Library buildings sit on the traditional homelands of the four bands of the Spokane Tribe of Indians: Upper Band, Middle Band, Lower Band, and Chewing Band. Since time immemorial, the Spokane Tribe of Indians has lived and cared for these grounds, identifying themselves as flesh of the earth. We pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. We show gratitude to the land, river, and peoples who have been fishing, hunting, harvesting, and gathering here for generations. May we learn from one another's stories so that we may nurture the relationships of the people of the Spokane Tribe and to all those who share this land. All right. Are there any changes that need to be made, or can we move forward with the agenda as it is?
We're good.
All right. Then the first thing we'll do is approve the July 15, 2025 board minutes. I'm ready for a motion unless there are any edits or changes that anyone noticed.
I move to approve the board minutes from July 15th.
Second.
All right. Those, nice work. And the next will be to approve the July and August 2025 bills and contributions. So somebody would looking for a motion to approve that with $2,210,708. Wow, and 59 cents.
Motion to approve the July and August, or no,
Yeah,
2025 bills and contributions.
Second.
Thank you very much. All right, moving along. Nicole.
Thank you much. Okay, so for the financial update, this does include both July and August numbers. But for August month end, for library operations, cash and investments trend, the library is able to pay 80 days worth of operating costs in our available cash and investments. That balance is 4.8 million, and it does include the reserve for capital, which is just over 1.6 million, and it's net of encumbrances, which is a whopping $12,000. For the expenditure trend for both the months, July and August, the total was $2,205,857. It was about 1.2 million for July and just over 1 million for August. Of that amount, 1,569,887 was for staff wages and benefits. Our capital books and materials purchases was 170,615 for both the months. Interfund charges totaled 107,796, which do include some third quarter charges. We did have contract services purchased in the amount of $95,679. 47,000 of that, so about half of it, was for the Fortinet firewall software that was approved at a prior board meeting. And then the other, the remaining balance, just over 48,000, was for things like our annual agreements for HVAC, security monitoring, and some cloud-based software management platform. Let's see, where was I? Utilities costs were $65,398 for 4 months. Of course, the majority of that is always central. The central portion was over $25,000 for those 2 summer months. We purchased annual subscription for catalog software renewal in our interlibrary loan catalog access. So that's so people can borrow from other libraries. That that amount, the annual portion for all of that was $57,038. And then our third-party security costs totaled just under $50,000. As far as business, are there any questions on?
Can you remind me, does the city offset any of the costs for the library at Central when they are like cooling stations?
They did historically when we were activated outside of our normal hours, but currently they do not because we're not activating any additional hours.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions around operations? Okay. So for business office updates, you may have noticed in the agenda, we do not have a 2026 budget adoption this month. It's still pending what the direction is from city administration. We're still currently having conversations with everybody at the city, and we hope to have more information by the end of this month. We will be adopting in October, no matter what information we have. So we have to, council will be adopting November 17th. It's planned, possibly 24th, but we will keep you updated. So still looking forward to that information. Regarding bond projects, so just a little update on that. In July, we spent $4,851 on construction professional services at the Nevada site. And at the end of August, we did receive invoices for the installation of fiber for both the Nevada and 5 Mile kiosks. Those invoices city had for quite a while. They were issued kind of towards the end of 2024, one of them early 2025, but sometimes it takes a little while for us to get that from them. Alpine construction work is still under review, and it is currently not ready to be brought forward to the board for the approval to file for a notice of completion with the Washington Department of Labor and Industries. So once we have the construction wrapped up, we can move forward, and I will bring that forward to the board maybe next month or maybe this winter, but stay tuned on that. And then the Washington Department of Revenue is adding new services that are subject to retail sales tax effective October 1st. Some examples of that for the additional services that are subject to sales tax that might affect a library are in-person training related to hardware or software. So any on-site specialists that come in and work with staff. Customized software that we purchased from a third party, and potentially live presentations. So that would be presentations that are hosted at the library that do charge a fee. So currently we have event spaces that take place, and so they would be responsible to collect tax. Would not be our responsibility necessarily, but we may need to disclose that to any future event hosts that have work on our site. So, and I did specifically look into our presenter services because any like class related training that's ran as a business is also now going to be taxable. We offer ours free to the public, and so we're actually excluded from that. So, since we don't charge a fee. So a little nervous when they first issued that because they did not have as many of those details, and they've slowly been releasing details every week. So that's a more recent one.
Want another detail to manage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it for the operations financial report.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions? All right, then the next item is the chairman's report. We'll skip that. So then Andrew, you're next.
All right, I have submitted a written report as well. Our work around building towards Vision 2030 continues. We recently conducted some online interview through Thought Exchange with partners in the community to get feedback on how we can work better together and increase the impact for both organizations for the community. And next week we will be conducting intercepts, which are basically dot exercises at locations outside of the library walls to try to get non-library users to give us feedback on where we should be heading. And We will also be conducting some focus groups in October. We did a call for participants and had really great response. So we're pretty confident we can get those together. And those will be based on the feedback, that we've heard from the intercepts, as well as the partners, just trying to clarify different things that we've heard through the other methodologies for collecting feedback. So more info on that as we get closer. As far as our DEI efforts, we'll be reading Playing in the Dark in the Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison for this month. And we created resource lists for Latino and Hispanic Heritage Month, as well as Disability Pride Month. Really excited to add 2 new experiences to our Culture Pass inventory. These will be tickets to Spokane Civic Theater, as well as the Spokane Symphony. And one of them will be rolling out tomorrow, right? Yep, that's the symphony. Yep. And then Civic Theater will be rolled out later on this month. The Nevada kiosk is now open. Marketing sent out a bunch of postcards to the neighborhood, telling them that it is available to the public. And right now we are currently accepting submissions from musicians to put their music on our digital music platform, Lilac City Records. Unfortunately, the Skywalk is still closed. To and from Nordstrom's, we are trying to work with the city on a solution, but no new information at this point. And let's see, I took office hours off for August and resumed them in September. I'll actually be at Shadle and Indian Trail tomorrow. Our star spotlights for July went to Juliana Amante. They really put a lot of effort into the digitization project for African American Voice. So that collection is now completely digitized and more accessible to the public. So that's really awesome for the community. And for August, the Star Spotlight went to Minda Roberts from the business office, and she took on the long dreaded task of implementing a driver authorization form. So thank you for that. And then I won't give an update on the budget at this point because we don't have any new information. I do want to point out a new manager that we have on staff. So we did that sort of replacing Paul Chapin, and Jordan had moved into the security manager. And now we have Shelby Gao, who is the new manager at Indian Trail.
Welcome.
So welcome. And that's all I got. So any questions for me?
How many responses, you don't have to give me like an exact number, but from community partners for the thought exchange?
We had about 30, I want
Okay.
to say. It was about like 30.
I think it ended up being somewhere around like 23 after you filtered out the ones that didn't have any coffee.
Oh, okay. So 23. We got about 10% back.
Okay.
We sent out about 200 personal emails from me to different organizations. But 10% is pretty good. We feel like we've got some really good information and some trends that we can look at and, build our services and partnerships up, from that.
And then how do you guys know how the Thrive progresses on because they broke ground and they started building? How's that going?
I'm going to defer to Karis for
Yeah,
that.
they're trucking along. They're talking about different things with us. Like they were trying to schedule a meeting with us to talk about a mural for the inside of the community room. But so far as I know, they're just on schedule.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you do anything, and I'm assuming you probably did like social media posts about the kiosk being open, but besides the postcards and I'm sure social media, is there any other?
There's social media, the newsletter, and the postcards. We haven't put it in the newsletter yet. It will be in the newsletter.
Sounds good. I was like, I did not get an email about it, but I probably just didn't pay attention. That's why.
So that's gonna be my kiosk.
Address it directly to- Yes, I will definitely say, Alexi, this is for
gonna
you.
need to be. Is this what you wanted? Excellent. Any other questions? All right, and is Kitty on Councilmember Klinsky? Okay.
No.
We will continue on to communications report.
Okay, great. A couple of highlights, as you asked. The 24/7 kiosk has been promoted by direct mail postcards to the 3 zip codes immediately surrounding that area. So it's quite a big area that we reached with those postcards. As Andrew mentioned, the symphony and civic theater tickets are coming soon to our library, our cultural passes program. So we will be promoting the symphony tomorrow in a one-off email to all of our customers. We'll be doing some social media push around it as well. I expect they'll probably get checked out pretty quickly. I think people will be excited about it. And we're offering 4 different shows with the symphony. It's part of their Masterworks series, and we're offering tickets to 2, 4, and 6 of the Masterworks. There's a number of them, but we get 2, 4, and 6, and also the Nutcracker. So, and it's a really cool program. We're paying for 30 tickets, but they're giving us 60, so it's kind of a nice deal. So, looking forward to promoting that. As Andrew mentioned, we're recruiting for Vision 2030 focus groups. As far as respondents for that call, we got over 150, I think, already, and we were planning pretty small focus groups. So we'll do a lottery drawing to finalize what the number is of those focus groups, and then we have the option of adding maybe another one if we feel like we need to. And we'll be doing that on October 30th, the focus groups. Our key promotional themes for the month, or recently, I guess, were the new music for Lilac City Records. That campaign's been going great. We got a lot of great responses for that. I know we exceeded the amount of spots that we had, so we will be doing the jury process to select those artists that we'll include there. We've been doing a lot of back to school communication, and also the sound swap has been a popular item as well for us. So that's a new offering that we have at Shadle. It's similar to the fabric exchange that we added at Shadle, but this is cassettes and records. Phil Brennan, one of the employees at Shadle, came up with this really cool idea, and it's been really popular. So if you have records or cassettes you want to donate, you can do that, or you can come and take a record. The John Denver record that's in all of the images has already been claimed, so don't go just for that one. And then the other music related thing that's really cool is Lilac City Records. We made a playlist for Lilac City Records that's now the playlist that's playing at the Scalehouse Market. So when you go shop at Scalehouse Market, you'll hear local music. If there's not live music playing, it will be local music. Delightful. So we have 37 projects I guess that's just in August. I didn't do combined July and August here. We had a really cool social media story to tell and share over the last month. We had a kids drive-in movie, and we posted about it on Instagram, but also, and I included a screenshot of this here, someone shared on Scary Mommy, which is a blog and an Instagram. It's a good account.
Yeah.
Scary Mommy on Instagram, that our library is the coolest. We had a drive-in movie today, and it got 7,000 engagements, and it's a national audience, and a lot of people were chiming in like, "Oh, that's my library. I love them," or like tagging their own libraries and saying, "Hey, will you do this?"
Yeah.
Because it was really cool. So that was kind of fun when it wasn't exactly viral, but it's cool when something hits the national stage for a good reason on social media. And then the other really high performing thing I wanted to point out on this report was the Sherry Library Story blog. Had 9,000 hits. So it was kind of at the end of our campaign, but a lot of people were going there to read the stories that people had shared in the comments on that. So that was really cool. And we've just been getting a lot of nice comments on our social media. So I included a little screenshot of there. It's hard to say, to read because it's so small, but somebody said this is the correct way to post.
Always be pulled on both sides.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Yeah.
That's what they say, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So just really, really nice comments on some of the social media work that Skylar's been working really hard to make sure we're staying on trend, posting about the Taylor Swift engagement or other things that are kind of trending so that people are getting eyes on our stuff. So kind of fun. So, any questions?
No, but your posts are really great. I saw the Taylor Swift one, so, and I was like, okay, that's funny, because I didn't know it was from the library when I saw it, and I was like, who's posting this? And then the summer I turned pretty, but then changing it the summer I did this at the library.
Mhm.
I also thought was really clever.
Thank
So.
you.
This isn't specific to marketing and communications, but I noticed that the Narcan is out at different branches. What is that? Who is that?
That's funded by the Department of Health.
Okay.
So in partnership with the Spokane Regional Health District, they asked us if we would be a distribution site. And we said yes.
Yeah.
So we put those out, I think, last month. And we already have a new shipment that arrived in my office sometime between yesterday and this morning.
Yeah. Will it just be constantly refilled? Because it was cleaned out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as they leave, we just submit another order and they'll send them along.
Okay.
Where are they?
I think that varies by location, just depends on the layout of the building. But they're out in the open for people to see.
I've seen them mostly by bathrooms. So I can understand a different setup here. Yeah.
We can only order 100 new boxes, and each box has 2 items in it. So we can only order 100 of those per month. So Jordan has like a really big backlog of them that we've received. And most of them, yeah, like you said, are about bathrooms.
Thank you.
So they'll stay as stocked as they can.
And that's a program that the Department of Health, they wanted to use libraries throughout the state to help distribute those because of our, our geographic reach and, just our reach into public information. It's a big deal, and they saw the advantage of that.
Yeah. All right, any other questions, marketing and communications? All right. Jason with programming.
All right, I got July and August in there for you. So July was a big month. About 5,000 people came to programs in July. A lot of those, most of those to youth programs or summer reading programs. The Reptile Man, over 3 events, brought in 527 people. Denise loves alligators, crocodiles. We hosted Girls Rock Lab again this year. We partnered with them. 9th or 10th year in a row. And the concert for that brought in 242 people. It's always one of the best events of the year, I think. So it was really fun to see that. Lilac City Live, we had Miles Kennedy, who's a kind of Spokane music legend, not kind of, very much a Spokane music legend, as the guest. Although we were not informed that he'd be the guest until about 4 days prior, so we got very little chance to market it. And then we were told he couldn't perform music at the thing. But he did a great interview, and a lot of people showed up to meet him.
Way to manage those curveballs.
Yeah. And that was the penultimate Lilac City Live ever. We've decided October is going to be the final, maybe not ever, but for now, the final Lilac City Live. It's been a great event for us, but it just isn't as high scoring, as I say that is the top scoring thing last month, but typically it's something on our impact score that's just kind of middle of the road, and it takes a lot of effort to put that on.
Yeah.
We kind of run out of some Spokane celebrities, so maybe in a couple years we'll bring it back, but for now we're going to take a break from it. What else happened?
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
What would, if more people went, would that change the, I tell everyone to go because I'm like, if you want to fall in love with Spokane, it's just such a good place to go and to be like, God, no, this is a really good city. And like, here's people doing cool things. And so that's not to dissuade, but
I mean, attendance is one thing.
Yeah.
It's really tailed off. Since post-pandemic, it's really gone down.
Yeah.
Also, when it initially started, it was one of the few things we did programming wise, and now it's one of hundreds and hundreds of things.
Yeah.
So we just can't commit the same amount of time to it that we did before.
Yeah.
And so we had already gone quarterly trying to compensate for that, and even then feels like it's just tailing off.
Yeah.
Last month, I mean, getting Miles Kennedy brought in some people, but
Yeah.
it was kind of a jump from a low score. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss it. It's
Yeah.
one of the favorite things we've done. So
And when will we watch Ryan cry?
I think we're gonna do a super cut of all the time Ryan is crying. That's one of the bits actually. So you can see Ryan cry
Okay.
73 times.
Okay. Thank you.
Next one. And then I'm sure he'll cry while watching it. But yeah, that was July. August, a little bit lighter. Actually, way lighter than our last two Augusts because of the cancellation of Tacos and Tequila. Usually
Yeah.
August is our highest attendance month. I think last year that brought in 7,000 or 8,000 people on its own. Hopefully that will come back in the future. We have it. I have the rooms and everything reserved for August of 2026, and hopefully they're able to do it. But we talked about the drive-in movie, which had, 127 people came to that. It was super cute. There's a picture on there. Andy and Ryan teamed up to host music video production camp. So 9 kids came all week long, wrote a song, created a music video, and it aired on Friday. It's a really cool video. It's on our YouTube page if you want to check it out.
Were you only able to have 9 kids, or is that all that?
I think what was the cap on it?
15.
15. It was a registration thing, just because it's a lot of work and a lot of hands-on stuff. But I think 15 you might have registered and 9 showed up, because that's what happens with registration. It's kind of you either don't have registration and too many show up, or you have registration and not enough. But it was really cool. They got a lot of really interesting work done. They wrote a really great song and produced it and made a great video. So I'm proud of what they did over the week. And hopefully it's something we can replicate again next year, maybe do it multiple times.
Yeah, I was like, that's a really interesting, and I'm assuming it was free opportunity. So that's why I was a little surprised.
And we've done songwriting camps in the summers before. Ryan's run Lilac City Youth, which is kind of a kids version of Lilac City Live, where they create a variety show. This year they wanted to do something, or we had them do something together to see how that would work. So it was good. We partnered with the regional health district to do Healing Hands and Creative Arts, which was kind of an outreach they did for opioid abuse down in events A and B. And we had a lot of people come to that. 150 people showed up. It was a big success. KYRS had their radio station had the highest attended event this year. Just one of their concerts had this month, 152 people showed up to that. Yesterday, or the day before, what is today? Tuesday? Yeah, yesterday we had the Washington State Constitution visit the library, and Vanessa just sent me a message to mention this. 114 people came and visited it over 2 hours yesterday, so that's pretty great. KYRS also hosted the National Grassroots Radio Conference. So it's community radio stations from all over the country have an annual conference once a year. They get together and share ideas. And KYRS hosted this year mainly because they could access use of the library. So we partnered with them to allow them to use a lot of the spaces. They brought in FCC commissioner as one of the keynote addresses that was open to the public, and then there are a couple concerts that they have too. So it's a pretty successful event.
And they were selected because of the partnership with the library. I mean, it's a very unique.
They were selected because of partnership with the library, and it made it way more affordable. Usually people have to rent out convention spaces or hotels to do this sort of thing. So people from all over the country that came, I'm not sure the exact attendance, but 100 plus that came to
Cool.
Everybody raved about the Spokane Public Library. It's good for us.
Nice.
Any questions?
I'm just bummed that we missed the drive-in movie. We were gonna go, and then it just didn't quite work out. Now, I have to tell my daughter, or she'll be mad at me, so.
This could have been you to show her all the pictures.
I was like.
These kids, they had a good time.
Yeah, on that note, up until the last year or so, Central has not done a lot of big children's program. It's just not something that happened. And Denise has really worked hard with her team to turn that around, to bring in these big events that bring in a lot of people and prove that people will come to the Central Library.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you for that effort. All right, let's have some new business. Karis, you are up first.
All right, so in front of you, you have our update of the policy on uncollectible customer accounts. These are basically customer accounts where materials have gone missing, and in our attempt to recover them, we have not gotten them back. So when we do that, our policy says that we refer them to a collection agency in an attempt to get either the materials back or compensation for the materials. And this is something that we've kind of put on pause during the pandemic and during construction. But now that we're on the other side of that, it seems prudent to bring that practice back. Not a lot has changed in the policy from the old one. You can see, I've got the previous version in there too. We added some guiding principles to the top of this policy just to, because people get kind of sensitive around collection agencies. And we wanted to show that we were being transparent about it and being fair about it and continuing in that vein as we go forward. So a couple of things about the collection agency that you ought to know. One is that we use Unique Management Services is the name of the agency, and they don't do any credit reporting at all. So they just attempt to recover materials or get people to pay their fees off. They take a percentage of what is returned. I want to say is, do you remember what percentage?
It's 10% and then the fee.
Yes, 10% and a fee, which we will visit in a little bit. But that was an important part for us, is that nobody losing their library books is going to ruin their opportunity for getting a house or something like that. As far as when we refer someone to collections, we are proposing a $100 threshold this year. Previously, it was at $75. In order to come to this number, we surveyed our staff using Thought Exchange, and we basically crowdsourced what would be the best amount to set the referral at, because these are the folks that are interacting with people who are in collections face to face, and what can they do to explain it. And they liked $100 because it's easy to explain, easy to communicate, and it gets past the people who lost a single book or lost something less consequential than someone who went and checked out all the DVDs and made off with them. Let's see, is there anything else in here? Yeah, so I mean, those are the basic changes that were asked. Oh, I take it back. The purge. We had the old policy had a 3 and a 7 year purge to it. We opted to remove the 3-year purge for accounts that are not in collections, just because it didn't really serve us, and it added extra obstacles for us in doing our
With our new software.
Yeah.
It was really compatible, as well as.
In Folio, it's more challenging for us to purge the accounts, and so doing 2 of them per year was not as efficient for us, and there was no reason that we could find why we were doing a 3-year purge in the first place.
There was no auditing requirement or liability requirement.
So just leaving it at 7, which I assume coincides with the statute of limitations.
The 7-year is the retention record for Washington State, so.
So there we go. So that is the policy on uncollectible customer accounts, and we're asking that the board approve the revised policy.
What happens now if somebody loses a book? And it's just one book? What is the process for that?
So what happens right now is they lose a book, the charge for the book goes onto the account, and
Okay.
it just sits there.
Okay.
Until they either pay it off or it drops off through the purge.
Okay.
So does it then like add up if they're maybe losing like multiple books? Okay.
Or like, I just got the telescope and if I were to lose that, I'd be on that list.
If it hits $50 or above, there's a block on their account.
Okay.
How often do you, or I guess, what does that communication look like then? Like if someone loses a book?
So right now, they get, typically, it's an email from the library. You probably, if you're a library user, you've probably gotten several of them. I just encourage people to return things and just letting know when it's gone to a lost status. And at that point, the communications stop, and that's where we would pass it over to Unique Management, where they have their own set of communications, both through email, and telephone typically, that they would communicate with customers on their behalf. And Unique is specific to libraries. They work with libraries all around the country, and they've got a very specific, gentle approach that they try to take with people, knowing that it can be vulnerable audiences that are in that tough spot.
I'm just thinking like if there's a book and like I forgot or whatever, someone forgot to return it and maybe they changed their email account, or that's what I was just curious of, like what that communication.
I mean, yeah, so
Like-
if they change their information, then there's not a lot that we can
You could
do.
even do.
Unique, on the other hand, they do try to do some investigation to try to find, so sometimes that's what happens, is the collection agency figures out what their new phone number or new email address is, and they're able to follow up with them in a way that we could not.
Is there a time that would happen in between? Like you give them, I don't know, a month to respond or something? I'm just curious. Okay.
So as we set up the account with Unique again, we will establish those parameters. And I want to say that it was 60 days that we had it previously set at, but I don't want to
I think
commit to
that
that.
sounds correct.
Okay. But there would be a fair amount of time between losing a book and being referred to the collection agency.
Okay. That's what I was just curious about. Okay.
Any other questions about this policy?
I was wondering, I'm wondering, this may sound generational, but I'm just wondering if email alone is enough. So I'm wondering, like, if I'm self-checking out a book and I scan my library card and I have a fine and maybe I didn't see the email, is there some capacity within that software program for like a little pop-up window to say, hey, by the way, you did not return X book and it's been 60 days and you owe such and such dollars? Just some other way for people to visually see it. And it could also say, you're not blocked from taking out books today, but please pay this fine.
Yeah, our self-check machines do have that pop-up. So if people log into their library account, they will see that they have items that are missing, or they'll get blocked and staff will come over and talk to them. When I say that they communicate mostly via email and phone, is hearkening back to previous years when we did a lot of mail overdue notices, which we have stopped doing since then. So that was why I was calling attention to that, but it is not the only way that they can see that they've got something missing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, I will entertain a motion to approve or, I suppose.
Second.
Do you want to start? You want to lead the motion?
I don't think Danny can make the motion, it's that she's chairing, so one of you has to.
Motion to approve the revised policy on uncollectible customer accounts.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right, then the next would be the fee fine schedule. Garrison, Nicole.
Yes, so piggybacking on that one, When we were looking at going back to the collection agency, we realized that we have to revisit the board approved fine and fee schedule as well. It's been a little bit since we did that. So Nicole and I sat down and went through this one. And just to run you through the changes that we made, we updated the non-resident library card fee, which previously was, what was that? $42, but it was basically the best deal in the country that you could get on library services outside of the area. So we did a survey of the other libraries in the area and figured and determined that $75 was better in the ballpark. And we also did some per capita calculations about how much citizens spend on library services. So in our calculations, we have every citizen spends somewhere around $60 for library services throughout the year through their through tax and their property tax. And annually it's about $138 per household. So we aim for 75. It covers that amount that all of the other taxpayers are paying, and also includes about a 23% overhead increase, both for the work it takes to provide them with additional services and the opportunity lost from our customers when a non-resident uses materials. So we thought it struck kind of a fair balance, and we're still one of the cheapest in the state, but much higher than it previously was. Our collection agency fee, unless we get something else from Unique, when in this case might be back here next month with this thing again, is $9.45, which is just a pass-through charge for the vendor. Our lost and damaged items is $8 plus the cost of the book, and that's for the cost of processing, putting the stickers on, cataloging it, and all of those things. Lost, damage, interlibrary loan fee is an $8 processing fee that's associated when someone gets an interlibrary loan and loses it because of all the back and forth we have to do with the lending library at that point. Bounce check is $25 plus the original amount. And we also removed the overdue fines that were still sitting in the fee schedule that we don't do anymore. And just for comparison, the non-resident fee, Seattle is at $85 a year, Tacoma is at $78 a year. So just to give you an idea of where we landed at 75. Did I miss anything?
Just for clarification, it is a patron who is paying these fees in addition to whatever their lost item
That
is,
is
not the
correct.
library. Okay.
That's how we recoup
Yeah.
the work that goes into it. Yeah.
I was just making sure.
So if it was like sent to the collection agency, oh, I can't think of the name, you just said it. Unique, it would be $9.45 plus $8.
Cost of these.
And then the cost of the item.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions about the fine and fee schedule? Okay, and I'm ready to entertain a motion.
So moved.
And a second?
Second?
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, on to 2026 Staff Development Day.
Hey, hi. Now I feel silly for sitting in the back, but.
There's a seat here if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay, so. No, I'm good. In 2024 and this year, we completed 4 staff development day sessions of various trainings. Our last one this year will be on November 7th. So the goal of these is to continue learning opportunities for staff and utilize in-house expertise to provide training content. So instead of 4 development days, we're looking at 2 for next year. The content is yet to be determined for these, but our last one was in-house, developed by Jenny and Jordan, and it was really successful. So we want to keep that cadence going. The proposed timeframe for the trainings is 2.5 hours, so 9 to 11:30, and then the branch hours will be 1 p.m. to the regular closing time. So we're just asking for approval for those 2 half-days to be closed.
Any questions for Sam about the proposed development days? Okay, and now a motion to approve the training days.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And now for the 2026 board meeting location rotation.
Yes, so if you recall, we did this last year as well. We were told by city legal that we should get board approval for the rotation of the meetings around the system. So what I brought to you today is a list of our board meeting dates for 2026 and our proposed locations for each of those meetings. You can see that they don't rotate like perfectly evenly. That's because our rooms are so popular that they are actually booked. We worked hard to make sure that South Hill was on the schedule this year because it wasn't this entire year. We didn't have a single meeting there.
Let me say yay.
And yeah, and then, but we actually had to ask our teen librarian to cancel the event that she had. There was no event, but she had a block on that room. So just so you know, a lot of work goes into finding all of these times and dates. Well, the dates are set, but the locations. So I'm presenting this list to you, and I'm asking you to approve the proposed location rotation for the 2026 library board meeting schedule.
All right, any questions?
For regularly scheduled
Yeah.
meetings.
Questions about this? Otherwise, motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right. We all approve.
Oh.
All right. And now Denise for the summer reading program. Hello.
All right, today is going to give a recap of how summer reading club went. Can't believe summer is over.
Mari, can you see my screen? Okay. Excellent. Go for it.
Okay. So it goes from June 1st. It went from June 1st through August 31st. It was an art theme, loosely based on that. And we can go to the next slide. Thank you so much. So first I wanted to acknowledge all the amazing people that make Summer Reading Club happen. So on the left there is the youth services team. There's Lauren and Gina and Mason and Revelisa and Kathy, and they work so hard to put on all these programs for kids and teens and families in our community. We start planning in December, January for summer. This year we're going to start in October. Pretty soon we'll just start in July. It's fine for the next summer. But yeah, they work so hard and I'm just so proud of them. They do an amazing job and families love them and I know why. So, and then Skylar, I don't know what we would do without Skylar. Skylar works incredibly hard. She manages the Beanstack accounts and like designs the whole thing before summer starts. So it's all ready for families to log in. They're reading. She's the one that reaches out to most of our donors and gets prizes for us for summer for adults and children. All our promotions, she works on our magazines. She does deliveries of the magazines to schools and businesses. She makes TikTok videos. She does everything, and we just are so grateful, and we appreciate her so much. And then Sumi is there on the right, and Sumi is we love Sumi. She's the one that orders all those prize books for us and organizes them that we give out in June. And she also does story time at Central on Fridays. And I love her. She's great. So, but lastly, not lastly, but I want to thank the CXMs, and I want to thank the frontline staff for our libraries. They're the ones that have to give out all the prizes and check it off on Beanstack and deal with the little issues that we have with Beanstack and all the things. And we just really, really appreciate them doing all that work all summer long and being flexible and putting up with us, adding things, and yeah, so we're so grateful. So here is a bar graph about, it shows by branch compared to last year what our numbers were. Some of our branches did increase a little bit with how many participants there were. This is just the youth. And then we had a couple branches that had a little bit less for youth. So this is a really great thing for us to see, because then we can see next year when we really, where we need to focus, what schools do we need to visit more? How do we get the word out to those communities that we have the summer reading club and that we would love them to join? South Hill had the biggest increase. They went from 673 last year to 815 this year. But yeah, it's just, I'm seeing on the north side, there were a couple of libraries that decreased. So we really want to see those go up next year. We have plans for this already. We're going to promote earlier. We're going to send out our magazines in May rather than June. And we're also going to have a friendly competition with schools and have a trophy. And so I think this might be encouraging for people to join and to read and to get prizes and have fun. So yeah. Our next chart is adults, so compared from last year to this year. And as you can see, the adults went up every single branch, which is amazing. I think a lot of adults love to read. Sometimes they just need a little push, and we had great prizes this year. So I think that was a great way to encourage more participation. So all of those have increased, which is super exciting to see. So here is just some of the categories that we can see on Beanstack. New registrations they might not be totally what we want. So basically, it did go down, but what it means is that it's the new accounts that are being made on Beanstack each year. So last year was great because we had 3,758 new accounts. This year we had 3,286. But some of those might be the same people that made accounts last year and maybe forgot their password, or, so it's not really a true vision of how many actual new accounts we have, but I did include it. But the total participants did go up, which is awesome. So last year we had 3,732, and this year we had 4,207. So we just want to keep that momentum up and keep getting more participants every year. But active readers, as you can see, it's like, boop, went down a little bit. So these are the people that are actually reading and actually participating and logging in their days. So it was 3,200 last year, 3,100 this year. A little bit down, but still very good, I think. Got a lot of people reading. And then the rewards that were redeemed, 3,242 last year, 3,381 this year. So that went up a little bit as well. So super cool. And then this is just by age. I thought this was really interesting to look at. So as you can see, our numbers this year for children all went down a bit in participation. So again, that is really helpful to youth services team. Like, how do we work with the schools? What daycares do we go to? Like, how do we reach out to different organizations in the community to let them know this is happening? So this is helpful. It's a little sad to look at like that, but it's helpful, really. And then adults, they went up. So that is super exciting, and we love to see that. And we hope that it just gets more and more. So these were the days read. Even though it's a little bit less than last year, it's still super impressive. So last year it was 109,000, this year 103,000. It's a lot of days that people are reading. So that's super awesome. We do like that way of logging in, because you just have to go on the calendar, and it's really easy for, you don't have to keep track of minutes or books, or, and books are all different lengths, and yeah, so days seem to work really well. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all the amazing people and organizations that give us lots of donations to make these prizes possible. Friends of the Spokane Public Library, we love them so much, of course. They're just so generous with us. They're the reason we have books to give out to children, and so we're really appreciative of them. And then we also had Ben & Jerry's and Dairy Queen and Baskin Robbins give us ice cream coupons, and then we had the fair give us free tickets, as well as Spokane Velocity and Spokane Zephyr soccer teams. They gave us lots of tickets, which was very cool. And then toward the end of the summer, we had Old Spaghetti Factory come to us, and they wanted to give us some free kids meals, and we said, yes, please. So that was super fun too. We added that in August. And then, like I said, the adult prizes, just everyone was super excited. We had, 1,400 entries into these raffles. And Alina and I got to draw the winners today, so that's super exciting. But I just wanted to give a shout out. I feel like I'm like doing an award show speech or something. Thank you so much.
Good job.
Thanks. But Sings and Spokane Symphony, Spiceology, Wanderlust, Bonnie Gilson Tattoos, Manitou Tap House, YMCA, Board and Brush, Spokane Comedy Club, Angela Connor Tattoos, Turkey Tail Tattoo, Jupiter's Eye. They gave us a lot of things, and Parks and Rec. They're just, they love the library. They love our community, and they're just so generous and wanted to give us things to give out, for the readers to raffle off. So please, please, please give them your business. Everyone out there watching this, because they're just very generous and very community oriented. And we really appreciate them. All right, so we're going to just talk a little bit about some of the highlights for our events that we had this summer. We do about 8 weeks of programming throughout the summer. There's some holidays and things in there that we take time off, but most of the summer we are doing lots of programs. Like Jason mentioned earlier, Reptile Man had 527 people that enjoyed that, and Cecil had 341. We really love bringing in presenters. It really gives kids and families that those opportunities to experience these things, because sometimes it's expensive to go see a magic show, or go to Monroe, Washington and meet all the reptiles. So that was really cool. We talked a bit about the drive-in movie, which was so fun. So cool to see all the kids decorate their cars, and some of them brought them already decorated. Some brought boxes to share with other families. It was just really a great experience, and we're definitely going to do it again. So hopefully you can make it. Story time with the Spokane Interstate County Fair. We have such a great partnership with them. And we did it at Shadle again this year. Cedar, the Highland cow, came, and Cedar, she's getting big. She's got the big horns now, so you have to be careful when she moves her head, because the kids, but she didn't have those horns last year, so it was really fun to see her grow. And then Honey, her owner, wrote a book, and it was published finally, and it had beautiful illustrations, and she read it several times, like every hour, to the kids. And then the youth services team, we had a bunch of crafts and different activities. So 428 people came to Shadle. It was supposed to be outside, but it was raining that day. So thank you, Shadle staff, for dealing with us, taking over the library. Because 400 people in the library was a lot. So they were very awesome with that. Eddie and Aziza came to do their Lego building, and we always love having them. And then Inspirations Dance Studio was a fabulous partner, and we look forward to doing a whole dance camp next summer. They were just so wonderful and so generous, and I really loved watching kids that have never experienced dance get to do that, because dance is expensive, and it's just so fun that they could try it, and see if they like it. So we'll do it again.
What kind of dance?
We did jazz, lyrical, hip hop, ballet, cheer, musical theater. So it was a good thing. Yeah, and we did half for kids and half for teens. I would definitely say the kids it was more popular with, but still seeing the teens express themselves in that way that have never done it was very cool. Science Speaks, we always love partnering with them. They do really great science experiments with their kids in a couple of our libraries. Touch a Truck, amazing. Mason partnered with lots of local organizations and they had 400. And then our first bike about at the Hive, where kids got to ride their bikes and make license plates and decorate their bikes, and we had 76. And we had partnerships with the health district and also with Spokane Bicycle Club, and yeah, they did great. So here's some numbers from our story times, and this is just in those 8 weeks. So story times in the park are really, really popular, and we've expanded that this year to 2 more outdoor story times. We get really good feedback from families about those. So 1,351 people came to those. Fandom story times, those were the ones about Baby Shark and Llama Llama Red Pajama, Peppa Pig, and Dogs Day Out. And that was Miss Lauren who had all those. And those were really fun as well, something kind of special for the summer. Baby Storytime, Toddler, and Preschool Kinder, those were only done at one branch because the other branches did the outdoor story times and then the family story times. So they look like lower numbers, and it's mostly because they're just like Baby Storytime's just at Liberty Park, and Toddler and Preschool was just at Indian Trail. But still, fabulous numbers for one branch. Family Storytime, 606. And then we have our specialty programs with Remelisa, Kathy, and Mason. So we had 1,093 participants, and those are all the awesome programs that have to do with arts and STEM and the environment. And so people really enjoy coming to those this summer. A lot of people we don't see during the school year. It's really interesting how we have 2 separate groups of people that come to the library. And so we get to reach people with these awesome programs in the summer that don't get to see us during the school year. And lastly, we lost one.
You know what? I
Sad.
think, yeah, here,
Okay.
hold on. I don't think we did. I think I just, there we go.
Okay.
I think I accidentally.
And then lastly, Gina is our great teen librarian. She is so good with the teens. They love her so much, and she works really hard. She did a lot of programs. She had 286 participants this summer. I think that's really great because teens are really busy and they're working and they're going out with their friends and they're sleeping in and playing video games. So to have that many, it's very good. And that is a picture of our teen concert we had for the 2nd year in a row. Local teen bands and soloists performed as well, and they are just so talented. I'm like, how are you in 8th grade? Why are you this talented? Can't wait to see them grow. So anyway, that is that. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you very much. A fantastic summer. Are any additional items or changes to the agenda? You're checking public comments. All right, so then our next meeting will be October 21st at Indian Trail. And have a happy rest of your Tuesday.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Round of applause.